How do you pray for this?
Very easily just died from the accident.
Before the accident, because he's hearing impaired, he didn't always make the wisest choices, but he was still capable of making choices and decisions for himself. And he was clear enough in his thinking that eventually he would sometimes come around and realize that they weren't the best choices. And he was capable of pretty much living on his own.
He picked up the phone and it was the hospital saying that Stephen had been in an accident. He was at the hospital in Chandler.
Normally I don't answer phone calls that I don't recognize, you know, but I knew it was 602 area code, which is Phoenix. And I know her parents live there and her sister lives there. So I answered the phone. It was actually the social worker from Chandler.
I was like numb. I didn't know what to think. I don't want to think the worst because things have happened before. And if you don't know yet, it's better not to anticipate the worst. So I was,
You're in this big hospital, you're in a waiting room, and then finally the neurosurgeon comes out, Dr. Chang, and he said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And he's had severe head trauma, and I've done everything I can to save his life, and he says time will tell. And that's when I knew that the possibility of not coming through this was real.
You weren't sure what was going to happen, if, you know, if God wanted him to live or if he was going to die.
But since the accident, his cognitive abilities have not returned. He's very confused. He doesn't sometimes even recognize that I'm his father or that Lori's his mother. And he struggles and refuses a lot of times to take the medication that they prescribe for him for seizures. So that's a battle, and that continues to be a battle. And we're having to now, after all of the therapy that was done at the hospital, we are having to take him to therapy and deal with that aspect of it. And I don't know whether or not he's going to be able to completely function on a level that he was before. And that means that I'm having to cross the bridges of what I may have to do in various avenues in order to allow him to be able to help be taken care of, because I realize that at my age and Lori's age, he's going to outlive us. And we're not going to be able to take care of him for the rest of his life. While he's here, it's no problem. While we're able, it's no problem. But what's going to happen the day that we can't take care of him?
You being in the hospital for you. Yeah? Do you remember being in the hospital? God obviously saved his life because he could have very easily just died from the accident.
I saw God work in his life during the hospital simply because he chose not to take his life. So I was just saying, Lord, whatever you want to accomplish here, that's what we're going to focus on, whether it's life or death. You lead and guide and direct, and we will follow.
Yeah, all I can be life and believe God will.
God's always given me joy through this, simply because if you're truly trying to serve him, you will find joy in the process, even though it isn't always pleasant. You see, people equate joyful with pleasant. I don't think the pain that Christ went through was pleasant, but he endured that and could understand why the Father was doing it, and it was for our benefit. So I'm sitting here going, what we go through sometimes is just getting him to take his medication is not pleasant. And what we get him, have to take him to therapy and he doesn't want to go, or he doesn't want to cooperate, is not pleasant. But that's not what drives me. What drives me is what the Lord does the Lord want me to do.
How can people pray for you? What do you want people to pray for you?
That they pray me that
What do you want them to pray for? Healthy, to make you healthy?